You know, in a world where global trade feels like it's constantly shifting under our feet, what if the biggest threat to your bottom line, your biggest headache, could actually become your greatest strength? Well, today, we're breaking down how smart manufacturers are using Tijuana to do just that, turning a tough tariff environment into a real competitive advantage.
I mean, if you're in business today, this question probably hits close to home. Tariffs are reshaping supply chains, they're eating into profits, and they are creating so much uncertainty. It's just a massive, massive headache.
Okay, but here's the twist. Instead of just trying to weather the storm, what if you could flip the whole script? What if you could reposition your operation to not only sidestep the pain of tariffs, but to actually get a major leg up on your competition? That's the big idea we're digging into.
To really get the solution, first we have to understand the new reality we're all playing in. The old economic playbook for manufacturing, it's being seriously challenged, and the companies that are winning are the ones adapting and adapting fast.
And the first thing that just jumps off the page is the sheer scale of the savings. We're not talking about shaving off a few percentage points here and there. Nope. Companies moving to Tijuana are reporting production cost savings between 40 and 70% compared to the US. That is an absolutely game-changing number.
And listen, this isn't some theoretical pie-in-the-sky idea. We are talking about global heavyweights. Samsung, Honeywell, Medtronic, Safran. These are the big players, and they have all been pouring resources into their Tijuana operations. They don't see this as a quick fix, they see it as a core part of their entire North American strategy.
So let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. What exactly is this Tijuana solution, and how does it so perfectly solve the tariff problem? Well, it's really built on two incredibly powerful frameworks. First, and this is the big one, is the USMCA trade agreement. The bottom line is this: if you manufacture in Tijuana and meet certain rules about where your parts come from, your products can enter the U.S. market completely duty-free. For anyone currently paying 10, maybe 25% on parts from Asia, poof! That cost is just gone.
And then the deal gets even sweeter with something called the IMMEX program. This lets manufacturers import all the raw materials and equipment they need for production, also duty-free, just as long as the finished product is for export. It's a perfect one-two punch that tackles costs from every single angle.
So boom, the tariff problem is solved. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. The benefits go way beyond that, building into this really powerful set of advantages. Let's start with speed.
I mean, just look at this. This is where you see the incredible power of nearshoring. A container from Asia takes 15 to 20 days just to reach a U.S. port. From Tijuana, you can get next-day delivery to most of the western United States. The difference in responsiveness is just monumental. And that kind of speed isn't just about convenience. In today's volatile market, that agility, the ability to pivot, to restock, to respond to customer demand almost instantly, that is worth its weight in gold. It's a true strategic weapon. And of course, we've got to talk about labor costs. The fully burdened rate for a skilled technician in Tijuana, and that means everything, benefits, taxes, the whole deal, is around $6.90 an hour. That's about 75% less than the same job in the US, a direct and very significant saving. But here's what's crucial to understand. This is not about cheap, unskilled labor, not at all. There are 42,000 specialized workers just in the medical device field alone. This is a mature, experienced workforce operating in an ecosystem that has decades of experience in high-level, FDA-compliant manufacturing. And hey, you want proof? Look at DJO Global, a major medical device company. When they expanded in Tijuana, they didn't just save money, they actually achieved the highest productivity rates out of all 6 of their facilities worldwide. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality and skill of the workforce.
See, this isn't just a random collection of factories. It is a true ecosystem. You've got over 600 manufacturing companies, dozens of specialized top-tier aerospace suppliers, over 60 medical device firms. The local supply chain is deep, it's robust. You're not starting from scratch. You are plugging into a powerful existing network.
And on top of everything else, there are some serious tax advantages. Companies in the border zone get a lower corporate tax rate, they get a halved VAT rate, faster tax refunds, and you can even get a total exemption from payroll tax for new projects. These benefits start to compound really quickly. So what does all that add up to? Well, for a typical mid-sized company, these tax incentives alone can mean first-year savings of $1.2 to $1.8 million. And remember, that is on top of the massive labor and tariff savings we've already talked about. But as powerful as those numbers are, this decision isn't just about what looks good on a spreadsheet. Let's talk about the broader, long-term strategic advantages that go way beyond pure cost savings. Being so close is the secret sauce. You get to diversify your risk away from Asia without adding a huge distance. Your design teams can literally drive down to the factory floor and be home for dinner. Quality control happens in person, not over a laggy video call late at night. And you're strategically insulated from future tariff wars while already being compliant with USMCA.
The Foxconn story is just a perfect example of how this all comes together. They moved their final assembly to Tijuana, and right away their tariff exposure dropped to nearly zero. They slashed logistics costs by 40%, and they gained the ability to deliver customized products to U.S. retailers in just 48 hours. That's the competitive edge, right there in action.
So, when you boil it all down, it comes to a fundamental strategic choice. A choice about how you want to position your business, not just for next quarter, but for the next decade.
And from what we see, the companies that really win with this strategy do three things right. First, they plug into the existing supplier ecosystem there. Second, they focus on retaining the great talent they hire, not just recruiting them. And third, they partner up with local experts to navigate the whole process smoothly. It's a playbook for success.
And that really leaves us with the final question for you. In this new era of global trade, the choice isn't whether to adapt, but how. Are you going to continue reacting defensively to every little policy change? Or are you going to make a strategic move to reposition your operations for resilient, long-term success? For many, it seems the answer is waiting just across the border.